new details tonight on the arrest of fitness influencer Wesley Watson. Watson now behind bars on domestic violence charges against at least one woman.
42-year-old Wesley Watson stands before a judge after police say he severely beat his girlfriend of just a couple of months.
So we're here on 5 counts for Mr. Watson.
Watson was in bond court on Thursday facing several charges where the state laid out even more details about what happened early Sunday morning.
He had his own personal employees threaten her. He had his own personal employees oversee her to see what she was doing on the phone, Your Honor. I think there's even made reference to the victim that she effectively felt that she was being held hostage.
The fitness influencer has nearly 40,000 followers on Instagram and boasts a fitness coaching program online that promises people to, quote, become the man you admire. The 6-page arrest report lists out very disturbing allegations against Watson. The report says during the fight, quote, the defendant then grabbed her with his right hand by her hair and then slammed her head down into the kitchen table. That opened up a gash on the victim's head. The report also says he choked her and threatened her life and her family's lives.
Your Honor, this is not the first or second time that violence has been alleged against Mr. Watson.
Buenos dias, Gunners Collective TV. Back at it, you already know. Like a torta with some snack habits. Bye. Let's get to that intro. Welcome back to the channel, and if you haven't already hit that like and subscribe button, make sure you go ahead and do that. Put your notification bell on all so that way you're directing the direction of the dope content that the gun stays kicking. I appreciate the support. I had some technical difficulties on the first edition of this video. Seems like everything was on mute. Wes Watson is working magic, so I can't put shit out there, right? But we're back, re-edited. Let's go, right? So we all know by now, the whole world knows Wes Watson's caught up. An additional charge has been tacked on to the 5 charges he is already sitting on, not even counting the charges he's sitting on in Fort Lauderdale when he assaulted that black man in the gym. Man, Wes is in trouble. What a diabolical narcissist individual. Couldn't have happened to the best of them, right? But let's break it down where Wes Watson is being housed, because there's a lot of rumors. There's a lot of people throwing stories out there, fraudulent stories about Wes Watson. I'm here to tell you and break it down exactly where Wes Watson is being housed now and exactly where he's going to probably be housed in the future. So as of now, I talked to somebody yesterday who actually did time in the Broward County Jail, and he exposed and expressed to me exactly the way it goes down. Now, one thing I can say about Wes Watson, with his behaviors in the past and the way he's treated people and the way he acts, you would think that he's King Kong Bundy, right? That he can go anywhere, take the keys, relieve whoever's in leadership of their status, and just take over the county jail because he's got aura like that. But I'm here to tell you, in Broward County Jail, you ain't doing none of that, sir. Right? Look, Wes Watson has been an influencer that has influenced people and bamboozled people for years into believing he was something he is not. He's very braggadocious. He is just one of those type of individuals that gets under your skin, inside of you, not literally, right? And does crazy stuff. But I'm here to tell you that Wes Watson at this moment in time is not being housed in protective custody like many think. But I could see that in the foreseeable future. He's actually being housed in GP. And how do I know this? Well, my first indication was when he went to court for his bail hearing. For his first court, you seen he was wearing a tan jumpsuit, the same that every other inmate behind him was wearing. That means at that point in time, him and all those guys are being housed in the same type of population, which of course is GP. Now, there's that old saying in that old story that Wes Watson paroled in good standings. Just because you paroled in good standings in the state of California doesn't mean you stand good in a different state, and doesn't mean that he's in the best of standings as we speak. In fact, there's word on the curb and a lot of fucking stories floating around about Wes Watson being a green-lighted and wanted man. Being the fact that when pigeons used to shit on Wes Watson's head and he used to sit in that park in San Diego with the tore back hairline, Wes Watson used to make a lot of outlandish statements, a lot of crazy stories. He used to add names to his stories, even though he says he never puts names in his stories. And guys were, in fact, caught up on RICOs behind some of the stories Wes Watson tells. So you could say some of his stories rang true. but many of them, like relieving people of the keys to the yard, going in there, deboing, beating up cellies and punking people within his own race, his own group, does not ring true at all. Anyone who's ever done time in the California system understands that it doesn't matter how big you are, how small you are, how many tattoos you have, what type of rage shit you're on, you can get aired out immediately. Wes Watson struck me as the type of individual when I first seen him that does a lot of this, but can get deflated quick. Having done time with Woods, the white race, while incarcerated in the California system, I'm here to tell you they are no joke. They are watched carefully because they, as a group, might not be the most vicious, violent group on the yard, but there are individuals within that group that are no jokey dope. For Wes Watson to sit here and say that he has went to every single yard, proclaimed that took over the keys, called the shots, punked everybody, was the man of status, I could tell you that's a fucking lie, right? That would never happen. I don't know how that even happened in his dreams, but he says so. Wes Watson is a wanted man. He is a man that, because of his charges right now, might be able to skate by in the state that he's in, but I have no clue how they treat people with domestic violence issues in Florida. I can tell you this. In the 2000s, they started pushing that domestic violence within certain groups in the California system a little bit different. Prior to the 2000s, domestic violence was seen as your personal issue with you and your old lady. As long as it wasn't done within the proximity of children, there was no children in the home, whatever you did with your old lady was on you. Now, that was on base to base on certain case factors. If you were just beating on a woman all the time and doing bad things to her, of course, people within your group are going to look at you as a coward and as weak for doing that to a woman. So like I said, based on case-to-case factors, some people did get removed based on DVs. Some people got shunned and ostracized and pushed away. I'm not here to say for sure that the domestic violence issues are going to be Wes's downfall. They'll be his downfall in life, but maybe not his downfall in prison. Because most people, unless you got weird charges or you told on someone, are not going to trip on you. That's your business. That's within you and your group, and your cellie and your group will deal with it. But Wes Watson's not in California anymore, Toto. He clicked his heel 3 times, his 3-inch stilettos, and took his ass to fucking Florida. And why did he go to Florida? For a couple of reasons. One, he went to Miami because it's a party city. He went to Miami because there's a lot of business that is conducted in Miami, and that's where a lot of people that are wealthy and have money go. And in doing so, he also escaped the realities of San Diego, which he has so much tremendously tattooed all over his body. He got away from California because he was of the understanding that he was a wanted man. Things he said in the past were finally catching up to him, so he decided to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I'm going to go have funny money and fun with all this funny money I made and leave everybody in California doing what they do. Well, times have changed and things have changed and circumstances definitely have changed for Wes Watson. This case that he's involved in now, yes, bail was revoked on his first case, so they are holding him on both cases. Now, he did receive bail on this assault charge, on this DV charge, on the snatching of this fucking engagement ring off this woman's hand. He did. Think about what he's locked up for. He got mad because she went to a Miami Heat game without him. Boo-hoo. Sorry, Wes. Dwayne Wade don't play no more. And I know you got an infatuation with Dwayne. He's married, I think, right? Look, she went to the Miami Heat game. He was upset about it. He beat her profusely, cracked her head on a table in front of his friends and bodyguards, paid employees, and they did nothing. 2 cowardly men sat there and watched another coward beat a woman. I don't understand how they're not being charged yet, but that remains to be seen what happens with them. Now, as far as the housing situation with Wes is why you guys are all watching. According to old boy, there's things called heart checks in Florida. I know they do that in Texas. California does a different type of heart check. A heart check in California is if something cracks off within your group with another race, another ethnicity, another gang, you are expected to basically be on that yard, knuckle up, you know what I mean? Protect your household. That's called defending your household. You got to get off where you're mad at. One jump, all jump. Everyone must defend. You know, nothing's for free on a prison yard in the state of California. You got to defend your people. As far as Wes Watson goes within the white race, it's exactly the same way. All hands on deck. You will salute and do your thing. Okay? Now, that's the way they heart check you. If you're willing to do that, defend the casa, defend the house, get off, do a pegada if needed, there's your heart check. See, in the places like Texas and Florida, it's different. Anyone from any race can come up to you and hit you up, and you have to get off where you're mad at. They're going to fight you, before they flight you. They want to make sure that you got heart to stay on that compound, to stay in that building, to stay in that facility. So Wes Watson definitely is going to get into some altercations. Now, being that he has an assault case on a black man, and yes, Wes Watson is going to be convicted and go to prison on one of these cases, if not both of them. He had action at the first one. This second one ain't pretty. They're actually adding more charges. They added a 6. If a brother decides, because that man said the N-word so many times with the hard ER in that video, assaulting that man in the gym, if they decide they have a bone to pick with him, guess what? They're going to pick his fucking bone. He's going to be hooping more than 128 Gs. It's going to be all bad. Now, as far as his domestic violence issues, some people don't like when a cowardly guy fucking strikes a young woman. They don't like that. So they might feel some type of way and want to check his heart and see if he'll do that with a grown man. So Wes Watson, I'm not going to say that he's not going to fight his way out of a situation. He might fight, and earn the respect of some. But also remember, there is things called unforgiven that are unforgivable. One is there are groups in California that have put a green light on Wes Watson based upon things that he has said in the past, things he had done, and people he is associating with, right? You don't stand on a stage with Rick Ross and Kevin Gates and bump sweaty bellies against these brothers, man, and have the letters or the numbers 23 on your head. Numbers 23, meaning he's white and he's earned his letters and his numbers, to which he never got those in prison. He just got them on his forehead at a tattoo shop in Miami-Dade, Florida. That's pretty crazy, right? This man's in trouble. But is he being housed in protective custody right now? I don't think so. In fact, the guy I talked to, I don't know if you can even request protective custody. Now, I know in the state of California, you can request protective custody, and they are obligated to put you in a single cell or take you away and put you with people that are on the same page as you. I don't know how it goes in Florida, but I can tell you all indications right now is Wes Watson is not being housed in protective custody. But will he need to be soon? I could put all my money, not that I have a lot, but I could put all the money and say that Wes Watson sure will need protective custody eventually, because it's looking bad for him. If what I'm hearing, the rumors I'm hearing are true, and there are actually groups in the state of Florida that are in correspondence with groups in the state of California that are actively looking for Wes Watson and waiting on him, he's in trouble. Okay, no one likes an outsider. Wes Watson is from San Diego, California, and he is doing time in Broward County, Florida. He is not a Floridian. He is not from Florida. And from my experience, when you go do time out of state, everyone's going to question you. Now, California gets a lot of respect. It's not a middle ground there. California either gets a lot of respect because people are in awe that, hey, he's from California. He's from a gangster state. I'm sure this guy knows how to do time. He's about the business. And then there are those that hate people from California because you are trying to be in our system and do our time, and you don't belong here. So Wes Watson is in a whole lot of trouble besides being a weirdo that beats up women. You know, this is a perfect situation, a perfect storm of a man who had it all and gave it up because of his narcissist behaviors, of his roid rage, and all the other case factors that are involved in this. Wes Watson is really an asshole and a stupid ass. Stupid ass. Let's say it twice like a Mike Jones song, right? Back then, hoes didn't want me. Now I'm hot. They all on me. He said that shit like 4 or 5 times in a row. Wes Watson is an asshole 10 times over. A man that manipulated people into believing he was somebody he wasn't when he was just a big dude with a paint job, a short big dude with a paint job who accumulated a lot of money based on people believed his shenanigans and bullshit. And what did he do with all that money? He tricked it off on women, tricked it off on people he not necessarily wouldn't hang around with or would talk shit about behind their backs, would go over there and hug on P. Diddy, was over there bumping bellies with Rick Ross, was over there licking the boot heels off Kevin Gates while wearing 3-inch stilettos. Look, Wes Watson is not him, and he's going to find out very quickly in the Florida system that he's not. So I could see in the foreseeable future him being housed in protective custody, but as of right now, he's not. He's in GP. Now, county jails are different from prison. County jails, you can get into a certain building, a certain block where it's not that bad. Wes Watson might be the roughest, toughest, biggest, baddest dude in that building. The cops might even know about his case factors and how he's a wanted man in certain situations and house him, and not necessarily a protective custody unit, but a soft shoe chrono unit, somewhere where he can get over. Now, I talked it over with my homeboy, and I probably think, and this is just my speculation at this point, but I think eventually Wes Watson might do a couple different things. One, he might play the crazy role and try to go to an EOP-style building. I don't know how they have it there in Florida, so he could be around dudes that he could pressure and dudes that he can get over on and that don't pose a threat to him, or he might off with his own head. Because Wes Watson, imagine walking around that cell right now, understanding that not only do you have these charges on this woman, but also the other charges in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, hanging over your head. This man has lost everything. He went from eating steak to snake. It's bad, okay? But it's not bad because of anyone else. It's not that someone put him in prison or someone put him in jail. He did that to himself. So no, for the rumors that are going around, Wes Watson is not housed in protective custody. Did he parole in good standings? According to his prison record, he did parole in good standing. Now, I've heard otherwise. I heard actually Wes Watson did parole off of SNY yard. I don't know that to be true. But one thing I do know about Wes Watson is just because you paroled in good standings and good favor, the moment that he jumped online, disrespecting his old faction, disrespecting other people, telling stories and saying names he shouldn't have, he's in bad standings. And that's just the way it is. And we know he don't stand too tall. Definitely not 6'1". Wes Watson's in trouble. But as of right now, he's not in fucking protective custody. So let's see what Wes Watson is made of. Let's see if all that braggadocio bullshit that he talked about, is he willing to really get off where he's mad at? I don't know. I do know this. His bail was revoked on the first charge, not the second charge. There's a lot of people immediately saying, hey, Wes Watson got bail. He's going to be out. No, he's not. Because if you recall, when he went to court the first time, the judge distinctly told him straight up that if you get caught on any more charges, your bail will be revoked on this one. Well, spaghetti-o. We already know what Wes Watson did. Look up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. No, it's a stupid ass, man. More faster than a speeding bullet. The 128G out of his ass, he'll pull it. I fucked up. But you guys know what I mean. Wes Watson's in trouble. And only time will tell. But don't believe the bullshit stories of people saying he's here, he's there. I looked at his housing sheet. I talked to someone who did time in Broward County, and I think Wes Watson is going to be absolutely fine while he's there unless someone comes in that knows him, that feels some type of way. But when he does get convicted, and oh, yes, he will be. Oh, yes, there will be blood. And he is sent to the prison system. I don't believe Wes Watson makes it a month on that yard. I believe everything he said, him taking keys and punking people and deboing cellies and being a shot caller everywhere he was. You're not in Kansas anymore, Toto. You're definitely not in San Diego. And that is the reason why Wes Watson has ended up in Florida in the first place, to escape his past. And now he foreseeable sees his future, right? And his future does not look great. Wes Watson's in trouble. Now, for those that are wishing incarceration upon this man and wishing that something bad happens to him, I am not in that loophole. I'm not in that group. I don't like a man who beats on women. I don't proclaim to fucking condone that shit. Never at all. There's never a reason to hit a woman whatsoever. I understand about accidents happen and things like that. But if you are mad because she went to a basketball game without you, that you beat her in front of two grown men and drug her around your house by her hair, that's some old P. Diddy-ish bullshit, right? And I don't agree with that. You know, I don't agree with the slapping. I don't agree with the maiming. I don't agree with the pulling the hair. Hey, if that woman don't want you and you can't adapt to that woman's ways, then let her go. She's a bop anyways. You should have known that. Now, there's a lot of people saying, oh, she's a bop. She's just going to take money and get the case dropped. I think it's past that point right now. She can change her statement, but from what I'm hearing, Wes Watson had several cameras in that home, and it's on video. So no matter what she says, the district attorney can pick it up, use the video, and I've already heard that someone flipped on Wes Watson, so he's in trouble there. Wes is in trouble. There's going to be trouble, and Wes is all in the bubble, right? He better stretch his shit out. He's probably not out right now, because knowing what I know, Wes Watson went on the run basically for a few days while they were looking for him, and I'm sure he filled that cavity with something special, something extra special, K, right? And that's just his thing. Wes Watson is walking around pacing in that cell right now, wondering what the fuck happened. Well, I'm going to tell you what happened. A whole lot of this is what happened, Wes.
New details tonight on the arrest of fitness influencer Wesley Watson. Watson now behind bars on domestic violence charges against at least one woman.
42-year-old Wesley Watson stands before a judge after police say he severely beat his girlfriend of just a couple of months.
So we're here on 5 counts for Mr. Watson.
Watson was in bond court on Thursday facing several charges, where the state laid out even more details about what happened early Sunday morning.
He had his own personal employees threaten her. He had his own personal employees oversee her to see what she was doing on the phone, Your Honor. I think there's even made reference to the victim that effectively felt that she was being held hostage.
The fitness influencer has nearly 40,000 followers on Instagram and boasts a fitness coaching program online that promises people to, quote, become the man you admire. The 6-page arrest report lists out very disturbing allegations against Watson. The report says during the fight, quote, the defendant then grabbed her with his right hand by her hair and then slammed her head down into the kitchen table. That opened up a gash on the victim's head. The report also says he choked her and threatened her life and her family's lives.
Your Honor, this is not.
That behavioral pattern of assaults, you know, his first case in California, the assault on the brother man, and of course the assault on this woman is gonna hold him. But for the gist of this whole video, people out there spreading rumors, don't believe the hype. Wes Watson is not being housed in protective custody, but I could definitely see him being housed in protective custody soon, especially if what is unforgiven is not unforgiven. This video is sponsored by Vario Liquors out there in Turlock, California. If you're ever in the area, pull up to Turlock and get you something cold to drink at the Vario. Also by Sticks and Stones Yard Service in Tucson, Arizona. If you're in the Tucson area, Google his number, get a hold of him, and support small local raza businesses. Wes Watson is in trouble. What do you think?